Yes, Junia, please proceed.
Okay, thank you. Hope you all are doing well. This is Zuneha from Girls Script Foundation, Jamshedpur. I welcome you all to the second day of our event, Application of Machine Learning. Our mentor is Anurag Sinha. He has a great understanding in this field. On the first day of our event, we learned about the basics of how to implement machine learning and prepare the data set. Today, we are going to start working on the project. I would like to hand over the mic to a mentor. Sir, you may continue.
Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
So shall we start now?
Yes, sir, we can start.
Is my screen visible? Mm-hmm. Yes, is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So our today's session is entirely based upon implementing the machine learning algorithm using the cricket data set. So before heading with the implementation part, I just want to discuss few about the algorithms that we will be using today, which is majority of the algorithm which we will be implementing. Somehow we have used many classifiers like SVM, support vector machines, and linear regression, random forest, and your naive Bayes. But entire the majority of the precision that we have achieved after implementation is from the linear regression and from the random forest. So, before moving ahead, I just want to give a see a linear regression is algorithm which has been emerged from statistics, right? But in the part of machine learning, is linear regression is perhaps we can say is one of the most well-known and well-understood algorithm in statistics and as well as in machine learning. But machine learning is the field which is known as the predictive modeling. We build the model for predictive modeling, which is primarily concerned with minimizing the error of a model, right? So making the model most accurate, we work on several features and attributes, right? And as it suggests from the part that we have discussed earlier, in applied machine learning, usually it does not have a significant part of algorithm base to its core. In machine learning, we usually borrow, you can say, or steal, you can say the word you can use. We steal or borrow the algorithm from many different fields. You can, just for the example, I say, if you will be knowing about neural networks, then it is completely inspired from the biology, neuron science, right? It's total working functionality, which is your neural network, artificial neural network, is completely based upon the neurons of a human, which is inspired from the biology science. So linear regression is also has been borrowed from the statistics field, we can say. So primarily it is a part of statistics, and as such we know that linear regression has been developed in the field of statistics, and this is a model in which we study for the model of yes, has someone said? I didn't get you. If not, you may write it in the chat. Okay. So I was discussing about the attributes in the linear regression. That it let's review the fewer parts, which is related to the algorithm implementation, right? So in machine learning, you can say, and as I have told, the several has of the several mathematical scientific field. So linear regression is a linear model, as we can say, the model which assume the relationship between an input and output variables. And in that, the single output variable is more of specifically that it can be calculated from a linear combination. My point, from the linear combination from the input variables, where the input variable you can assume as an x, and the method is referred to as a simple linear regression. And suppose when there is the multiple input variables from the, as you can take it from the literature of the statistics, then different techniques can be applied to prepare in the linear model to train and test the data set. Now come or one example just I want. So this is okay. Is the graph visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes. This is a we can say this is a linear regression example that I want to give, a small, very small example. We can assume that it is based upon some particular data set, and in order to illustrate the data points in this two-dimensional structure, we have shown that the straight line can be seen in the plot, right? And to show that how linear regression can be taken into consideration to draw a straight line which will minimize the residual sum of this. It means that we have observed the several responses from this data set in this sum of a square, and meanwhile these responses can be predicted by this linear approximation. And the coefficients and the sum of a square you say, or the determinants that you term in the statistics, is nothing but the combination of these two parts, which is your the variables that you take and your straight line, linear regression. And next we are coming to the random forest classification. Forest class the decision tree. It is an ensemble learning method. Ensemble learning concept is a main branch of our machine learning, or to train the model. So it is inspired from the decision. When you will see the diagram of a random forest, you will see the various decision tree structure that is coming from a one lakh to another. So random forest is one of the most popular supervised learning algorithm of machine learning. And we perform the classification and regression problems using this particular algorithm. Okay. And which is a process of combining, you can say it as an ensemble learning or a regression or a classification, which is a process of combining multiple classifiers to solve a problem. As you can say that the random forest classifier is the combination of various decision trees. So as the name suggests, the random forest is a classifier that contains the number of decision trees. Okay. And that takes average variable to improve the predictive accuracy of the dataset. So what is the benefit of using this random forest? It means that instead of relying on the one decision, the decision tree, the random forest take the prediction from each tree, and based on the majority of the votes or the optimal solution that you get at the end of the completion of mode of a random forest, it predicts the final outcome. Are you getting? If you can imagine the diagram, I have not included the diagram, but if you can imagine, then you can see that how would it be working. So basically, in a nutshell, we can say the greater number of trees in the forest leads to the higher accuracy and prevents the problem of overfitting. It is postulates that is given by the one of the researcher, you know, did this effort uh, the, to clear the concept visualization for this random forest classifier. He postulated this thesis that the greater number of trees in the forest leads to the higher accuracy and prevents the problem of overfitting. So now I am coming to your implementation part, which was the intention of the today's session. Give me a few minutes. Yes, I have discussed the two algorithm. Any doubt so far? Because I am going to implement this algorithm for our on the basis of our cricket data set. So if you are having any kind of confusion or ambiguity in these two algorithms, so please ask once again. So even so check. Yes, can you repeat the random forest? Are you not able to understand or have you joined late? Hmm? Okay. See, a random forest algorithm is the mixture of multiple decision tree, which is a supervised learning algorithm, right? And it is used for classification and regression related problem in machine learning. You can tell it as it is a random forest algorithm provides a process for combining the multiple classifier, as you are combining the multiple decision tree. So it leads to combining the multiple classifier to solve a particular problem. It is just like that. If you are dealing with a particular real life problem in one approach, but there is not limited to the one approach. You are implying the several techniques and combining and consolidated to it one, so that it can provide more efficient optimal solution. It is just like, so random forest is a classifier which contains the multiple decision tree from the various given data set or aspects, you can say, to improve the accuracy of it. Now is it clear? Yes, Shivani, is it now clear? I'm unable to hear you.
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay, thank you. Any other person having some doubt in any algorithm of this two I have discussed so far? Because if you cannot visualize the mechanism of working of the algorithms, this is the one of the most demerit of machine learning algorithms. You need to visualize the total mechanism functionality of the algorithm in order to implement and get particular efficient insight of. Unless you are not understanding the algorithm and you are just implementing it, you will not be able to understand that in what way it is producing the result, in what way it is effective for the model building in terms of the accuracy or precision of the working functionality. See, I am reiterating the thing. If someone has missed the yesterday session, I am just giving a brief about that, preparing the data set. Just remember the four steps: problem of the data set, training the data set, testing, which means splitting the data set, and organizing the data set. This has been the four, interrelated steps for the preparing the data set. And for the features that we have collected for the implementations is not limited to your ID, team, toss winner, precision, and team one, team two wickets. Not limited to this, but also we have worked on the features like temperatures, pitch conditions, humidity, and so and so. So this is whole about the features preparing the data set, which has been you know discussed yesterday. Process to design this model is not limited to is my screen visible? data result and predicted outcome. You can imagine, I cannot make a chart now, but you can imagine it as a flow chart. This is your hierarchical steps, which is your raw data collection, defining the features out of it, and then next comes to training and testing the data, then trained data result, and then next at last your predicted outcome. This is the entire process for this project. So if you want, you just take a screenshot of it, right? So this is the hierarchical process that I have followed, or you may also follow for this particular project. This is entire steps that you need to take care from the very beginning till to the end. So now I am moving towards a rapid discussion for algorithmic part. So for the, as we know, as I have told yesterday, for sports analytics is one of the very emerging parts in machine learning implementation these days, not limited to cricket, right? And also being match predictions based on a given data set. As I have shown yesterday, this is our data set, right? This is a data set, and we have worked on the several features, right? These all the features as need to be taken care, and so several features like this: season, city, data, team one, team two, toss winner. So there are n number of variables that needs to be taken care, right? And it also depends on the toss of the team who wins the toss. And it is also depend on the bat or field that is crucial in terms of insight, right? So insight can be drawn for the data set that you deal using this machine learning algorithms, right? And through which effective decision can be taken. So we need to wait thanks to artificial intelligence that is enhancing such a rapid way that we cannot tell, but still we are lagging much behind. But there would be much innovations and implementation in the coming years. Right. So the data source is collected from the several fields like ClickSheet, Kaggle, Springfisher, and which is scrapped, and it is having the 18 columns and 577 rows. So you can imagine how long the data will be, how long the feature engineering has been applied to data set, and not limited to that, uh, how we have encoded the categorical data set, how we have encoded the variables. So this is the total length of the data set that we have used. So from the implementation from the beginning, we just import very libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. It will be useful, and same can be applied in implementing in Jupyter. Okay, and after that, for the various model implementations, we read the data CSV file that has been imported from the internal storage, and we load the data set, and then we visualize data, and then we visualize data in this way, and then we visualize data that we have analyzed to reach to the conclusions, and you can see the data frames or the data columns. It's total 18 columns, and whatever the columns are there: ID, seasons, date, team 1, team 2, toss winner, decision, win by runs, win by so and so forth. And then we include the data values which needs to be completely filled before starting the algorithm implementations. which is completely filled. And we have observed that. And we have observed that the city column has 7 missing out. So in the starting of the session, I have told you that if the data is missing, then we have to implement the feature engineering and we have to fill those missing data. Similarly, winner has several data set is missing. Okay. Winner column is missing. Similarly, the winner, the values of the players in the winner sections is missing. So what we do overcome it, that we encode the several variables to those missing column to escape from the model distribution. Yes, because if the data is not completely fulfilled, then when you are importing the data on your library or in your integrated programming environment, it will lead to have several uh, errors, which is not, you know, which cannot be afforded for predicting or making such kind of models, in which your intentions to predict something. So as you can see, these are the visualizations, yeah, and how we have created matrices and several data tables. Basically, you need to be sure very much that the which data you are using, and you have to make it complete similar to use a particular model, right? And to use a particular model and to predict the outcome, that we need to convert all the outcome, we need to convert to the categorical data. It needs to be categorized based on the several parameters. As you can see, it needs to be a categorical data set in order to gain the more insight and more precision analytics for the further implementations. Now we are coming to part that we have taken the categorical data into the numerical data, we have converted that, right? And now it is needed, we have found that. So here we have what we have done in the columns or in the rows, that in the winners column, we have encoded the several categorical data to replace that the missing, address that we were having in our data set. And it might have any end value, and we have replaced with, or we can say, to draw more effective, to draw the model, which is because if the match not won or lost, it will be drawn, or it has to be drawn. So then we have encoded that the team have encoded the team names with their initials. Okay, as you can see, MI, you can see, the team has been encoded from their initials, like it is KKR, RCB, MI. So in this way, we have encoded the initials into the team IDs. And then we have used the label encoding, the next categorical data. Yes. Now we using some labels, and based on that label, we form the label encoding with the city, right? city, venue, and the toss decision. Then is my screen visible? City, tossed winner, toss decision, result, TL applied, and win by. So this way it is encoded, right? As you can see over here also. It encoded the toss decision into various indexes. And so forth, we have also seen that the toss decision into various indexes. Then uh, we have analyzed the outcome and what will be the conclusion to the toss. Wait, see, you can see over here. We have encoded the, we have prepared the other parts of the system, which will be used for the effective precision, which is your team one, team two, loss decision, toss winner, venue. So this way, the entire category data has been included. And we at the by this way, we have got an array indexes which has been categorized into the cities which have been taken part or have the part for this data set, which is your Bangalore, Chandigarh, Delhi, this way. So we can see that MI can you see the categorical data? It has been divided 35 values parameter had been taken. The data has been categorized or encoded into some other parts based on the cities, based on the where it has been collected. Hey, can you ever imagine this venue data set can be also used predictive analytics as well? You can take, I'm giving you one example. If you want, you may note it down. It will be a novel project for you. Just forget this kind of cricket analytics we have studied so far. Just the project I am talking about, you have to deal with this categorical data, which is your venue. You just collect the data from the historical data set. You just look that what team, where they have played, just MI, RCB or whatever maybe, where they have played and from where they have scored the maximum or from which stadium they have played with or from which stadium they have the approximate more numbers of winning or the more numbers of losing the game. And that way you can collect and categorize in the two parts of the positive and negative. And you can build a model which will predict on this categorical data set that if this particular team playing the game in that particular stadium, then the chances of uh, you know winning this particular game is higher. Or this particular team is playing the game in the particular stadium, then the chances of losing that particular match. So this way you can take a fair model. This will be a very novel. It will be a complete predictive analytics that we call it as. You are using a simple parameter which is your value. This way we have categorized the data and we have encoded the numerical values and so provided the indexes to that whatever the category of the venue and city was there. So now it comes number of toss of the winners, the data that you can see that we have visualized the number of the toss winners from the data that we have based on those categorical data set by each team that whatever they have scored. And now we have imported plotlet. Okay? And we are visualizing that the of the team one of the MIC has won the maximum of the team. One having the tosses above 70. The tosses above 70, and similarly, we have analyzed the data of all the teams, like at who is the winner at the end, and have the maximum that of the indexes that has scored all above scored the 74, that can get the data visualization. How it is getting, you are just importing the matplotlib and you are encoding to plot the particular figure or a chart that you want, and you are labeling the parameters that you have defined within the code, that this level from the toss winner and y level from the count of the toss winner, and that you are setting parameters from the toss winner, and it is predicting a kind of a bar based on the parameters or the input data that you have provided. Can you see this? Is the data visualization clear? What no? Is my screen visible? I'm not getting. Yes. Then who has written no? Means please elaborate what no. I will be providing the link of this and the data set as well. You can use it as well. Actually, this project is done under my guidance. So I have not done. I have this was the one topic. In previous year, I was writing the one research paper, one book chapter, you can say. I have written one book chapter on the predictive analytics using machine learning, and it has been published in Lambers. And based on that, I have summarized that book chapter and written a research paper on the particular data set. And it was to predict, you just in a nutshell, it is kind of a predictive analytics and data visualization using the Kit data set. And one person who has implemented this particular code, all the codes is my co-author in that particular research paper. So this was our initiative, although a number of research has been done in this field. This was a more focus on visualization. So we have implemented in R, not in Python. But the most of people are familiar with the Python framework. That's why. But in the tomorrow session, I will show that just a second. So by the end of by the end of this code, we came to the conclusion that the idea, and this was a complete comparative data that I have shown, the toss winners and the match winners through this data pictorial representation, as you can see. This was a, this is a comparative model of the toss winners and the match winners, and we see that the team MI is having the maximum team. The maximum is the maximum of the toss winning in comparison to all, and it has the maximum of the actual winning toss winning team in the match categorical data as. And we have also seen that it is like the maximum number of the second team at the winning the toss in the fourth match. So this way it has been visualized. Then you can see the toss team. It has been categorized by using the different bar, and different color has been provided to make it more seamless or understandable that exactly which team is standing on which exact number of. So the fourth maximum is winning actual matches. That is a comparative graph, that comparative study we have done, and it is already that we have encoded. Now we are moving ahead to make a generic model based on the classification models of the algorithms that we will be implementing with your linear regression and various algorithm I have used. Logistic regression we have used, linear regression we have used, random forest, maze that. But the more precision that we have got out of the random forest, and the very actual and very plain reason and plain intention of that, as I have discussed in the today's starting session, that the random forest is a kind of a classifier which is make up of a different decision tree. So it is very obvious that if you are encoding, if you are amalgamating the number of classifiers to one model, which is your decision tree. Suppose you are mixing the 5 particular classifier in the form of a decision tree. So it is very obvious that that particular algorithm will generate the more precision in comparison to the all other algorithms that you have used. Now we are into building the generic model. Okay. Yes, generic model for what? Generic model for a class that we say as a classification model for predicting the outcome of the data that we have taken, and we have taken prediction that predict it shall predict the data which will be having an accuracy of some dependent variable of a metric for deciding which model shall the final one to choose. That we have taken various models like regression, KNN, Gaussians, this way, SVM, and this is it. I will be showing the code. This is the entire part of this. Just a see, this is a logistic regression in which we have defined the outcome variable as a b, and the predictive variable which will be the team1, team2 when toss winner city, toss decision. This parameter of variable or feature has been taken into consideration to classify the models, and we are importing the model logistic regression, and it is classified the predictor or the outcome variable based on the categorical data that have been encoded uh, for the that have been encoded for the various categorical encoder that we have made, which was your city, venue, so and so. So the accuracy is having 30 to 9%, and Gaussian has produced the accuracy of 20 point something percent. Okay, फिर your Kane and Nevers algorithm has produced something 62.65% of the accuracy. Okay. Then this is the total decision predictive analytics. This is the result that you are getting after the implementation of the predictive. And then we are imported support vector machine, and it is also having a very good number of precision, which is the accuracy of 89.08. One advice, this is applicable to any kind of machine learning implementation. So this is not limited to the cricket data analysis. Whatever the project you are making using machine learning, try to implement at least 4 to 5 classifier algorithm, whatever you say, to to take out of a better precision out of the model, so that at the end you will be hanging with 4 to 5 precision, and at the end of your project you can make a hit to compare all the models that this particular SVM produced this. Support vector machine has produced this. KNN has produced this. Decision tree has produced. Now, at the end of your project, you can write a conclusion based on the comparative data or the comparative analysis of the algorithm that you have encoded in your model. See, over here also the gradient boosting algorithm of the machine learning is producing 89.601% of the accuracy, and decision tree algorithm is producing 89 something, and now we are coming to forest is having most similar. Random forest classifier is producing the accuracy of 89.601%. So finally, we found that the random forest classifier gives us the accuracy of 89 point something, 89.61% that we have stuck to this model of our for the model of the IPL predictions. And by the end, we have taken the 5 various uh, data of the team 2 and the city venue and the tossed session have been encoded. That for the example that we have referred to encoded, that we have done it manually. So for the comparative, this 5, this I am talking about, this 5 have been encoded with the help of the label encoder. And when you when tosses should have been replicated in this particular CSV, right? So we shall be encoding the teams and the in the framework that we will be using, let's say for the Jupyter notebook. And then it is a task fit into the model and predict the outcome that we have stored in the result that we have restored in submission of the data. And by the end is we are showing using the pie chart visualization that the total toss win and total toss loss out of all the predictions that we have made. So several categorical data for this has also been consideration. For imagine if you are making the model, then you can put this thing in the result section. Why in the result section? In the analysis section, you have in the data collection, you have shown the various encoder and what are the data set parameters you have used. And in the implementation, you have implemented the algorithm. And in the result section, we are showing that what is the total toss win and toss loss over the parameters when you're deciding See, this is suppose this is a toss winning. Does not guarantee a match win from the analysis from the current stat, and thus prediction features give the weightage that we can see. Now the next part is having the 56% that all the that this five category that we have for effective modeling outcome. Over here you also see that yes, the accuracy of the column predicted is the accuracy of something called the 35.1%, and the loss is the 64.9%. So this way, the pie chart or the different statistical modeling paradigm can be used for the data visualization, and yet uh, go to the pie chart with MI that the team was a generalized of having the higher score of the team, that you can see the clusters. Generalized pie chart I have one. This goes for the CS and this wala graph. This goes for the CSK with the coal 5 and the other two. We have all I have also made yes. One general. This is the generalized ability for you can say for winning the match of the 49.6% of winning and yet losing the match, the another point of another important derivation. So another that important derivation from this project was the venue that we have taken as a parameter for analysis. As I have told, it is not limited to the table that we have made in team 1, 2, 3, but also the several parameters has been considered like venue, city, pitching conditions, and many can be there, whether or that can be used for the predictive analytics. And that is a part for the predictive analytics using the historical data. As now, if I take one example, that you have to predict any match outcome based on the climate. So out of this IPL historical data set that you can collect, you can fetch out and import the data only which is related to the climate. You can collect the data that what kind of match has been played to the particular month and what was the condition of the weather and how many matches have been delayed, how many matches have been continued as irrespective of the condition or as per the weather and climate conditions. And you can make such a encoding table, and based on that, you can also implement this classification algorithm. You can predict based on the climate parameters. So this is what we call the predictive analytics. We are using the historical data of one parameter and predicting the future instances of the probabilistic instances that may likely to happen out of the data that we are predicting. Estimating. It's not, it's not very defined. No, it will happen. It is a prediction. It is an estimation, probabilistic analysis that we use using machine learning. And this we can see that how the venue shall affect, and we have observed our days. And by the end, I guess, I am providing. Is my screen visible completely? Are you all able to see my screen? And my voice also is very clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. So out of this graph, we have observed the RCB is not won any match with the CSK, the particular stadium. Who is requesting annotation? Can you please write in the chat? Yes. So we have observed that the RCB is not won any match with the CSK in the stadium, and which scores, which match with the CSK in the stadium scores, and which is your George Park and the Kadai Stadium, that the venue parameters give. Yes, over here. And it has always been won the match, and Kings has in the Wanderers Stadium. So it, at the end of the discussion, it does prove that the venue has an important role when it comes to the match between the two teams. And this project that the variable and parameter encoding is very essential. Parameter is very essential term when it comes to preparing and analyzing the data for machine. Please be. The consolidated, consolidated summarized code for importing the data, splitting the data set into the training and testing, and using the parameters of right. And the feature scaling, training the data, testing the trained model. I will be providing the link. This is very easy to understand, but when it comes to implementation, will have no option. But yes, for understanding, it's very easy. As you can see the example for the prediction, it is using the random forest regression, and which is having the maximum features, and to train and test the validated variables, which is dependent upon the one to another, vice versa, and then testing the data set, trend model, and testing the system. So this is let's say the consolidated code out of it. I will be sharing the link of this code, and this is what we have done. In tomorrow's session, tomorrow's session will not be this much lengthy. It will be just in the intention to show that what kind of visualization we can have using the machine learning or R studio. We are not to focus much more over the academic part. It is just the tomorrow session will be how you can import the data set, and what are the codes that are very easy to run, to fetch out the analytics out of those code that you can use for your predictions of it. Because also, as we know very well, the data visualization and analytics is very important today's era. As in business, take important decision for the business, and being a data scientist, if anyone is data scientist, it is one of the very crucial role of a data scientist to mine the insightful and knowledgeable graph or information out of those lakhs of results of a data set, which may help taking business so far. As for example, you can say you have the data of, you have the 3-year data of a restaurant, of a Latin system, of a beach, that how many people come, how many people leave, and how many people spend more time over in that particular restaurant. And with the help of that, if you are a data analyst, you can get a useful insights of those data. You can predict, it can be predicted that what kind of more enhancements is needed in the infrastructure, what exactly people more prefer, and you can also make a kind of which you can have a data of your recipe of the restaurant that is more likely to be ordered by the maximum number of visitors. So this way the data can be categorized, used, implemented, analyzed, and manipulated. It's a data manipulation. We are manipulating the data. So this is whole about today's subject. Tomorrow's session we will see the data visualization. So that is aim for the day. Convener means is to the end session.
Thank you, sir, for today's session. I would request all the participants to fill the attendance form before leaving. I would also like to thank everyone for joining with us.
Yes, by the end, I have forgotten to ask one thing. Is anyone having any kind of doubt? Whatever I have discussed so far in yesterday's and today's session, as the time not permits, but there I'm there in the WhatsApp group. Whatever the chat, whatever the things you need to ask, you can put your queries over there in the WhatsApp group. I'll be taking your queries over. Thank you.
Okay.